my purpose, my mission, and kind of the way that I've laid things out was I've always had to work for something bigger than just myself. Like I can't just be really selfish. It doesn't even compute my DNA. I have to look at something from a bigger purpose, look at the mission, the goals and objectives, be somewhat altruistic, and then just fucking dive in. Then you can be selfless in some of what you're doing, and you can kind of behave as a cog in the wheel, which I think is actually a really important piece to development. Is how many people have ever worked as just a number, like just a number in a machine. Like
right, you don't feel valuable.
No, you don't. And creating value with a team with a bigger purpose, I think that's what guys in the military and guys from my background, as they transition out, they go through what I would say is an existential crisis, because their life has meaning. Their essence is clearly defined. They're striving to accomplish a big goal and objective that takes complete intellectual and physical capitulation. And when they get out, they're like, now we have all this freedom, 360 degrees. Well, you have to lay your own life out. You have to redefine your purpose and then drive in as deep as you can. I think they go through a significant existential crisis.
Well, that happens to guys that get out of prison too.
Yeah.
Guys that get out of prison, a lot of them want to get arrested to go back because they're more comfortable in jail.
Right.
They don't like the freedom. They don't like this new life. All their friends are still locked up. Mm-hmm. Their social connections are locked up out in the street. They're a pariah. They're an ex-con. You know?
And some of those things are like transitioning into the professional environment, especially from the team room. Like I was in a team room my entire life. And I mean, you know me, better than most, which is I'm not politically correct. I couldn't build an ecosystem, nor could I could have ever survived in the corporate environment, because my mind doesn't work like that. Like I have the diplomacy of a sledgehammer sometimes, and it's not.
But at least there's a place for a mind like yours.
Yeah.
The thing is, when you're a kid, they tell you there's not.
Right.
When I was a kid, man, I was fucking absolutely convinced I was a loser.
Really?
Yeah.
Seriously?
Was fuck up in school, big fuck up in school. Always getting kicked out of classes for making fun of things. Never had any work ethic at all. The only time I worked is when if I needed money to buy a car or something like that, right, I'd get a job and I'd do that. But I was in hell thinking, imagine having to do this for life. I had a bunch of, my dad was an architect, so I had a bunch of construction jobs growing up, and those fucking taught me that I don't want to do that.
Right.
I had a whole summer I worked with my friend Jimmy Lawless, and I carried cement bags and pressure-treated lumber all summer. It was I only worked there for a couple months. I'm saying all summer. Might not have been a couple months. Might have been a couple weeks. I was 19, and I remember really clearly going, I am never going to be able to do this, because I would leave at the end of the day. I was toast. I was done, man. I'd go to the gym to work out. I had nothing. I was just so tired. There was not, and I realized okay, I can't do this. I admire people who can do it. You could just show up for work every day. I feel like I'm in hell. Right. I got to find a thing. But I got lucky that there's things. And you got lucky that there's things. Yeah. But in school, they don't tell you that there's things. They don't say, hey, Joe, I see how you can't pay attention in class. You're always cracking jokes. Maybe you should be a comedian. No. Never.
They're like, you're going to fail.
Yeah, you're a fucking loser. Yeah. You're a loser. And until I started being good at stuff, I didn't realize that I could. That maybe I wasn't a loser. Just when I started doing martial arts, that was the first time I was like, oh, I could fucking apply myself to things. I could actually be really good at stuff. It's just a matter of I didn't find a thing that was interesting to me until this.
Yeah, it's very similar. You and I had very, very similar backgrounds. My dad was a logger, so he was up at 3-4 o'clock in the morning every day. I saw this dude just work his entire life, and he was so committed and so disciplined. I never saw my dad inebriated. I always saw him with a lunchbox. He worked in the woods my entire life, but I wasn't good at shit. Which is also good. I like to, fuck around with my buddies, and I like to do interesting things, I guess, for that. Try to jump motorcycles or whatever kind of random shit you'd come up with. But, as I got into the military, I was like, oh, I'm good at this. Like, I'm really good at this for some reason. You know, I can run fast, I can shoot well. You know, I can put together semi-coherent sentences. So, shit, I can be good at this. And this is something I can, you know, steal the phrase, accelerate your life or whatever. I can accelerate my life. And it was fun, dude. I could jump out of planes and learn different languages and spend most of my life out of the country. But it was the same kind of evolution. It's like I found this thing that I was really good at. I loved it. And I could just go chips in on it. And it built layers of confidence and allowed me to just build the confidence to say, well, you know what, if I was good at this, I could probably apply this to other things in life.
Yeah.
And it just compounds. Like the way I built Black Rifle and why I did was like, my mission statement when I transitioned out was to transition out of government service and live a happy and fulfilling life. That was it. It didn't have anything to do with, you know, money or goals or any of those things. It was, how do I define happiness? How do I define fulfillment? And then as we grew the company, after about the first year, it became really evident that I could not only do something, because I had this beautiful family that I loved, like my kids and my wife, and they're giving me so much power and endurance. What if I built this really cool company where you could leave the family that you love and go to work in a company that you love, and then it would become a flywheel. It would just get faster and faster and faster in your life and create more happiness, more fulfillment. What if I could scale that and give that to other people? And so far, I mean, it's fucking worked. Like,